We are the nerds of the apocalypse.
Oh, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm glad y'all decided to see because it's so crowded in here. There's so many people that are interested in horror fiction. It's unbelievable. All right. Well, my name is Jonathan Graef. I'm the old guy that's not very funny, and I'm here to talk about my release of my new book series. It's called The Dark Road. It's called The Dark Road for a really, really good reason because, yeah, this book is really freaking dark. I started this book series actually in 1987, a little long time ago. And when I lived in China, it got published, and it was published by a disreputable publishing company. So it took me 8 years to fighting and to finally get the rights to my book series back. So I got it, and it was actually, as I noticed, today, back in 2015. So here I am doing a panel now on a book series that took me 8 years to get back. So, anybody here of a game called Dungeons and Dragons? Everybody like Lord of the Rings? Okay, anybody here of another series called Cthulhu or Call of Cthulhu? Okay, if you put both of those in a really nasty looking blender, you come up with this. That's what it is. It's, like I said, it's called The Dark Road. The whole series is called The Dark Road because I don't believe that strong characters, the save the world characters, you don't get strong by sitting behind a desk or sitting at home watching TV or just never venturing out anywhere. You become a strong person in life because you understand pain, anguish, suffering. So I'm to my characters, really, really bad to my characters. Yeah, I killed off their family members up front and everything else. So if anybody didn't get the idea yet that this book is not for children, this book is not for children. This is book 1 of 8. There's 8 in the entire series. And as you and I were talking about earlier, the outline for all 8 is already done. So I'm not writing this as I go. I don't wake up one morning and say, oh, I think this would be cool to put in the book. No. I'm really, really big on continuity because I want to bang my head against the wall when I watch a movie or read a book series and it doesn't all fit. Where you're reading something and suddenly you say, whoa, where did that come from? And yeah, I can't stand that. It's really, really annoying. So continuity for 8 books. This one here is a little bit less than 120,000 words, which is kind of standard. When it was originally published with those knuckleheads, it was 186,000 words. That's a little bit shorter than the Two Towers. Only by about 4,000 words. So that's how big the book series was. So what I decided to do, now that I found a different publisher, is I took originally 6 books of 180-some-thousand words and I busted it into 8 books of 180,000. And then, depending on how well this does, I have a prequel, I have a sequel, and for all of the main characters, I have, because there's gaps in the story, I have the chronicles of, one of the characters is nicknamed the Night Witch. She's really, really screwed up for a really good reason, but you have to read about that, I'm not going to tell you. But it goes through the gaps of what happens between when her parents get killed and when she re-enters the story and how she got the nickname Night Witch. So it's all of that that's in there. Background about the priest and why there's a whole lot of people that like him and there's a whole lot of people that want him dead. And the why behind all of that would be also in a separate set of books. So depending on how well all of this takes off, I can spend a whole lot of time in front of the computer writing a whole lot, which I probably might do anyway. I released book 1 earlier this year after I finished book 2. So I'm always going to stay 1 book ahead. So I'm writing book 3 off of my outline, and when that gets done, then book 2 is going to come out. So this way, like I said, I'm always 1 book ahead. Something, life happens. That's just the way it is. So if something really bad happens and I can't write, at least that 1 book is there to buy some time until I heal through whatever, I don't know But I'll have that done, and then always ahead of the game. Let me read the back to you. The world is still struggling to bring itself back from the brink of annihilation. Yes, this is a post-apocalyptic fantasy horror. How many times you see that happen? After a devastating global war fought over 400 years ago, evil has been lurking in shadow and something stirs deep in the earth. A prince, a knight, two investigators accompany an elven ranger back to her home in Silverwood, a tiny hamlet in the middle of a dying forest where shadows run deep and things whisper from the darkness. Disbelieving the existence of supernatural in a country that has outlawed magic, the group quickly finds themselves questioning the world around them and fight for their very survival against enemies who are not supposed to exist. The Gathering, Book 1 of The Dark Road, is the first book in a series that follows their struggle for survival through twisted, macabre, surrealistic nightmares and into darker and more dreadful landscapes. Pain hurts, wounds bleed, and nothing is what it seems. And that's the tagline for the entire series. It's pain hurts, wounds bleed, but nothing is what it seems. So if any of you have ever woken up one day and maybe saw something on TV or read an article somewhere or saw something on the internet, and you start thinking to yourself, you know, most of that stuff that I was taught, maybe it's just not true. Anybody know what that feeling is like? Okay, these characters live that from everything that they were taught around them was a lie. So it's, I think it's interesting. I spent a whole lot of time working on it, so we'll see where this little train goes. Anybody have any questions for me? And whip them out. All right. You look like you have a question, but you don't want to ask it. She's laughing. She's saying, no, nobody.
I got one. So, surprise. So, what were your influences in writing the book?
My influences for writing this? One notable author by the name of H.P. Lovecraft. So if anybody has read a whole lot of Lovecraft with as creepy as he wrote, I still think he's the master for writing. He is. Nobody has beaten him at all. Thank you. Have a good time. See you later. Yeah, I still think he is a master. Nobody can beat that dude. Nobody can beat that dude. King doesn't have anything on him. I don't think King can. Well, I'm not going to talk about King. He's not the new author, and nobody really cares about life. No, I don't think he knows how to end a book. I really don't. Anybody ever read King?
Yes.
Everybody know what I'm talking about? Okay. So he was my number one influence for writing this. And then Dungeons and Dragons, nice little old game. I started playing that in 1981, first edition. And then I watched it come in second edition, and then third, and then 3.5, which I'm still scratching my head at the name of that one. My dad called it 3.5. It's not a computer, it's a tabletop game. It's completely old style. But then I always thought, you know what, I like it, but it's just not scary enough. It's not spooky enough. There's not enough stress in here. And the thing about, in 1987, I was in college up in Edinburgh, and the power went out, which happened frequently there. And I lit a candle, which you're not supposed to have in your cars. That's not important. Anyway, so I'm watching the lightning dance across the hillside, and I started the what if game. You know, what if? Well, what if the storm lasted a whole lot longer than what everybody thought it would? That didn't really go very, very far. What if this wasn't the first storm that came by here, obviously? What if somebody's been watching storms for a really long time, you know, and just like somebody that has horrible ADD, I've followed and jumped around that like I'm dancing to the Macarena, and then came around to, what would actually happen if somebody was immortal? What would that person be like? What would they think? How would they actually feel watching entire kingdoms rise and fall, and there they are? You know, Would they be happy? Would they be depressed? If they got depressed, how depressed would they actually be? What if they actually tried to commit suicide, but because they're immortal, it's not going to work? You know, how frustrated would they be afterwards? All of your friends, all of your family die. And then the longer that you're here, a person's lifespan is, what, a blink? Maybe a couple of breaths? How often would you try to make friends then? If you actually met this person who had been through all of this for a few thousand years, what type of person would they be? Would they be kind? Would they be harsh? Would they have absolutely no patience, or would they have an abundant amount of patience? So that's what started getting all of this. And then I said, well, let me start this little, and it started with a little short story. And then the short story, I said, you know, there's more to this than that. And then it just kept growing, and then that's what you have right here. So that's where the whole series came from. It started with the what if. About an immortal. Any other questions? Come on, guy. There's 10 main characters. Yeah, there's 10 main characters, and I'm not talking about just the bad guy. I'm talking about just the good guys. There's 10 main characters. Some of them are even racist and bigots, religious zealots, complete knuckleheads, people you think are absolutely insane, but they all have to work together.
Did they all appear in the first book?
Nope. Nope. I am going to tell you, though, there is one character that dies in the first chapter, because I told you when it comes to writing, and that's just the way I am. That's how I roll. And she dies horribly.
So not a main character.
Twice. Yeah. She gets killed off twice. I told you, when it comes to writing, I do that. Any other? On something?
Are you selling your book here?
Yes, I am. I have a small stack over there. When I do these, I autograph and sign them. The last panel I did, really different than this one, had nothing to do with my book series. I was teaching how to use the sword for sparring with lightsabers. So, I mean, that was, completely different one. But yeah, I have some. I also have a website called Dark Roads Books, or Dark Road Books, sorry. And you can buy this off there. There's other books that are in the works. I talk about them as well. But I'm not here to talk about those. I'm here to talk about this one. An idea that I came up with for the boxed set, because there's 8 books. After I get the first 4, the first half done, I actually made a box which I don't have with me because I suck. So I didn't bring it with me, but it's a handmade box with black wrought iron fittings, and it looks like an old medieval chest because I went and I researched how it was put together and where the wood grain panels went, and I just made this box. It's about this big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first 8 books, I'm going to come up with a different cover, which, by the way, I designed this. I'm going to come up with a different cover, put those inside of that box, and then it's a literal boxed set with a handmade box. So then the whole series, all 8, when it gets done, it's going to be much larger, and then I have a little interesting thing I'm going to do with fluorescent and glow-in-the-dark paint. So it's going to be a neat little surprise, again, on those handmade boxes.
You're going to make all the boxes yourself?
I don't know. I'm sort of an amateur hack when it comes to making boxes. It takes me a long time to make a box. So I don't know. I may try to outsource that somewhere. Leave that to somebody that really knows how to make it a lot better than I do. It looks beat up for a reason. Yes? I knew you had one. I knew you had it in. Okay.
Where's the world based on? Like, is it ours? Is it its Do you have, did you ever make an app for it?
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes.
You've got all those resources down?
Yes, I actually turned this entire thing into a D&D campaign. The map, it would fit on the table this way, but not that way. It's huge. It covers the entire world. And in this little D&D campaign I came up with, there's over 600 different places that characters can go with their own individual maps, and over 1,300 NPCs with all the descriptions completely written out. I tried running that campaign for some people, and it was just too much. Not for me, for them, because I don't have a linear storyline. I was like, okay, this is what you see, this is what you know, tell me what you want. And everybody just sat there and went, I don't know, what are we going to do? You can go anywhere that you want. If you want to say, you know what, screw this town, I'm out of here, I'm going to go over here. Cool with it. Wherever you want to go is fine. Whatever you want to do is all right. I can handle it. And then that was just too much for people, because they didn't know what to do. Completely lost. So, yeah. Needless to say, all of that paper and all that stuff is just sitting there in a big, huge box right now, collecting dust.
Are you okay to attach the maps to the books or anything?
Am I going to do what?
Attach like the maps to the books? Like
Well,
in, or?
actually, there's a friend of mine who did some writing for Pathfinder. You know, anybody ever hear of them? Okay. He did some writing for Pathfinder when they were just first starting. And what he thought of was to take all of that stuff and come up with a RPG that goes along with this. So we come up with a player's guide and a game master's guide and a huge monster manual thing, and all this other stuff with maps and the country backgrounds, what their economics is, political structure, everything else like that, and then publish that for basically game books, so people can actually role play inside of there if people like the tabletop thing. That was a plan for it. Yes.
Why so many main characters?
They all come from different backgrounds and they come from different places. And it seemed like the only way to balance everything out with an astronomical amount of tension. Because trying to get everybody together from, this group over here. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The female elven ranger, she is really racist. She does not like humans at all. Hates them. So, but then she has to work with them anyway. So then these humans come to the town, and the town it's actually not even a town. It's not even a village. It's a teeny tiny little thing. It's not even the size of a hamlet. There's like 30 people in there. 30 elves. And all these elves are looking at all these people going like, why do we have outsiders? And it just all goes downhill from there. So she has to try to overcome that in order to save her little village, because that's where it is in that dying forest. So the different characters from all these different places that know all of these different things have found a way to put all of their knowledge, skills, and abilities together, but it's not easy. That doesn't actually come together until maybe the 6th or 7th book, where they actually start working together, because all they do is bicker and fight with each other for the first 4 or 5 books. Some of it's funny, some of it's annoying. More people. Hi, come on in. Gee, I don't know if I can recap that fast. Hi, my name is Jonathan Graef. This is the Dark Road series right here. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about it. It's 8 books long, and this is only the first one. I'm 1 book ahead right now. I'm working on number 3 till number 2 comes out. And if you have any questions, please ask me. Pain hurts, wounds bleed, nothing is what it seems. Does that answer your question? Fun? Okay. I don't like talking and not answering somebody's question. I sound like a politician then.
So, I think she kind of alluded to it, but the locations in the book, are there a mix of fictional and non-fictional locations, or?
All fictional locations, all brand new created world. Nothing corresponds to here at all. And the only thing that corresponds to here is it's written in English. That's it. The rest of it, I even put other languages in here. By the way, I had to sort of create a few. I didn't go so deep into making strict grammar structure for everything, but 1987 first started on it. I had a lot of time to work on this. So, oh yeah, I know. Here's one. If anybody probably can't see the cover very well, but this writing around the outside here, it actually says something. That's an actual language. It actually says something. Wake not the murderer of the world, or all will know pain and sorrow. Oh, poor people, come on. We're almost done now, but come on. Hi, welcome to the panel. I'm discussing the Dark Road series. I'm not going to give it as fast as I did before. I almost tripped over myself and sitting down. Horror fiction, first in the 8. The first book in the 8. I came out wrong. Maybe English isn't my first language. Well, like Smythe says in here, that after you learn 9 languages, maybe they all run together. But yeah, it's a horror fiction. If you like Lord of the Rings, and if you like Cthulhu, and you put them in, what did I say, an angry blender? Is that what I said before? Put them in an angry blender, you can probably come up with this. Yeah, so basically we're in a question period, so if anybody has any questions, hey. Okay. Anybody else have any questions about it? Trying to recap for everybody that just came in here, it's really, really difficult. I'm going to repeat myself. 10 main characters. They all hate each other at first, except for 2.
I don't know if anyone asked, like, what was the inspiration of making the book? I don't know, I'm just kidding. So.
No, I started writing this in '87. Yeah, I've been at it a long time. And this started with a short story after watching a thunderstorm, and the power went out in my dorm. And I lit the candle that I wasn't supposed to have. And it's not important, still not important. And it grew from a short story to a large book series. I had gotten this published by a disreputable publishing company that tried to steal it off of me. And it took me 8 years of fighting with them, and I finally got it back 2 years ago today. And the original book that was put out by them was 186,000 words, which is a little bit shorter than the 2 Towers. And there were 6 of them. But now there's going to be 8. And the plan, as I was describing earlier, is depending on how well the entire book series picks up, if you can imagine how big this is going to be. This is about 118 or 120,000 words, which is kind of standard. But there's going to be 8 of these, and then there's going to be 1 prequel, there's going to be 1 sequel, and then in between that, for all of the characters, there's going to be separate books for every single one to fill in what happens in their life outside of the main story. So that's a lot of books. That's a lot of writing. But there's a lot to the story. So I mean, like I said, it grew into a big hulking monster since 1987. Well, next year will be 30 years. Oh, I'm old. Yes. I thought somebody had a question.
I mean, I'm thinking of one, so it won't be as obvious. Don't worry, I'm thinking of some really juicy questions.
Are you going to be set up in the main room after this, or is it just this and then you're...
No, it was just this. I don't have a table anywhere. I just came here to let people know, hey, new book series. It'll work. Really like this thing. Took me a long time to write it. And I'm still writing. But, yeah, no, they didn't set up the table for me, so it's just, this is it. Oh yeah, the website, Dark Road Books. darkroadbooks.com is where you can find us, and information about other books that I'm writing too. yes, I'm ready. I'm writing a demon invasion book too, yes. Right here in this world, so it's not like this over here. This is on Kindle. Audiobook is coming for those people that do a whole lot of driving or want to listen to headphones and be walked down the road and listen to places. Trying to scare the crap out of you, as you're walking in broad daylight. But there's an audiobook come out. So if there's an audiobook and a Kindle for this one, of course, all of the other ones are going to have audiobooks as well. Any other questions? Comments?
You said you're doing signed copies?
What's that?
You said you're doing signed copies?
Yes, I am. Stacked over there. I thought there'd be more people here with a whole lot more questions, so.
Kind of feeling in time like this.
It's early Sunday.
What's that?
It's early Sunday.
It is early Sunday. It is early Sunday. I spent 9 hours driving here from yesterday, so, you know. Pittsburgh. It's a 9-hour drive. Oh, now you come in. We're almost done. I just gotta. It's time for me to wrap up, I guess. Yes. Hit me.
Our autographs free. I'm doing a thing where I'm getting everyone to sign this, and I was wondering if you could sign it. Like after this, obviously. Like I know if it's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. I'll go with that.
Do I? Okay, after. I'll wait till after this.
I don't know.
I don't want to, shoot.
11:10. I'm supposed to be out of here in 5 minutes. Yeah, that's a really good time.
All right, I'm up. Okay. Sorry.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, it's cool. Well, that's about it. I have 5 minutes to pack up and get out of here because somebody else is coming in. So, thank you very much for coming and listening to those people that came late. Sorry I didn't come earlier, didn't get all the information, but like I said, Dark Roads books. Jonathan Graef, thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Yeah.